It is easy to think you found this message by accident, that it appeared on your screen because of an algorithm, a random scroll, or a restless night. But pause for a moment. Do you really believe something this precise could be coincidence? The truth is deeper. You are here because heaven arranged it. This moment was marked long before you were even aware of it. And tonight, the call has reached you. Every destiny has appointments, moments when time and eternity collide. These moments cannot be planned by human hands. They are orchestrated by the one who holds the universe. And when they arrive, they carry weight. They are not ordinary interruptions. They are invitations. They whisper, "This is your hour. Do not miss it." Think about it. How many times have you brushed past small nudges in your spirit, ignoring them as coincidence? How many opportunities slipped through your fingers because you convinced yourself, "I'll deal with it tomorrow"? Yet tomorrow never came, and the window closed quietly. Tonight is not one of those moments. This is different. This is holy ground. When heaven interrupts your life, it rarely feels comfortable. The call often comes when you least expect it. Moses wasn't looking for a burning bush. David wasn't searching for a prophet's anointing. Mary wasn't waiting for an angel to declare she would carry the Messiah. Yet in ordinary moments, the extraordinary arrived. And when they responded, history shifted. So here you are, maybe uncertain, maybe tired, maybe carrying questions you don't even know how to ask. But God knows. He knows the battles you've been fighting in silence. He knows the weight that presses on your chest at night. He knows the prayers you whispered when no one else was listening. And now He is answering, not with theory, but with a clear and urgent call. Step forward. This moment is not about accident or chance. It is about alignment. Heaven is leaning in, and eternity is closer than you think. What you choose to do with this hour will echo far beyond tonight. Don't dismiss it as another video, another voice in the endless noise of the world. This isn't noise. This is a trumpet. This is a summons. This is God knocking at the door of your heart saying, "I called you here for a reason." And the reason is simple yet profound. Tonight, the first step toward your breakthrough must be taken. Every great story begins with a step, not with clarity, not with comfort, but with a single, trembling step into the unknown. That step is the dividing line between dreams that remain wishes and destinies that become reality. You see, destiny doesn't bend to hesitation. Breakthroughs don't wait for perfect conditions. The blessings you've prayed for, fasted for, cried for, they are not delayed because God is unwilling. They are waiting because heaven responds to movement, not excuses. And tonight, that movement belongs to you. Look at your own life. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow," only to find tomorrow never brings the courage you expected? Comfort has a way of lulling us into stillness, convincing us that staying put is safer than moving forward. But safety never builds legacies. Comfort never births miracles. Courage does. The truth is, every divine promise is unlocked by obedience in motion. When Israel stood before the Red Sea, the waters did not part because they complained or waited. They parted when they moved. When Peter stepped out of the boat, gravity did not suspend itself for theory. It shifted when his foot touched the water. When the woman with the issue of blood pressed through the crowd, healing was not released at a distance. It came when her hand reached forward. What does this mean for you? It means your miracle is not sitting idle in heaven waiting for another prayer. It is waiting for your step. The vision God placed in your heart, the book you're afraid to write, the business you hesitate to start, the forgiveness you've delayed giving, will not come alive until you act. Heaven has already written the miracle, but the ink dries only when you move. And here's the weight of it. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. To wait until everything feels safe is to refuse the very essence of faith. The breakthrough you long for will never meet you in the place of hesitation. It will meet you in the place of obedience. So hear this clearly. Your step is not small. It may look ordinary, but it is the key that turns heaven's lock. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't need to impress anyone else. It only needs to be real. Because the moment you move, the atmosphere shifts. Favor awakens. Doors begin to respond. Tonight, heaven is not asking you to wait. Heaven is commanding you to act. One step, your step, is what will open the gate of destiny that has been shut for too long. If you doubt the power of a single step, look back at the stories written long before us. History has always bowed to those who dared to move when everything else said, "Stay still." Think of Israel standing at the edge of the Red Sea. Behind them roared Pharaoh's army, armored and relentless. Before them stretched an impossible wall of water. Fear was real. Logic screamed retreat. But God's voice declared forward, and when they obeyed, the impossible bent. The sea opened, not before their movement, but because of it. Their step triggered the miracle. Or consider Peter on the stormy night, when the waves crashed and the wind howled. In that chaos, Jesus called him to step out of the boat. Boats are safe. Boats make sense. But faith is not about sense. It is about trust. Peter's first step defied gravity, not because he had mastered fear, but because he dared to move in the presence of it. For a moment, a human walked where only God should. That moment was born out of obedience. Then there was Abraham. No map, no details. Just a voice saying, "Leave your country, your family, and everything familiar. I will show you where." Who would leave stability for a sentence so unfinished? Yet Abraham did, and because he stepped into the unknown, he became the father of nations. His obedience built a legacy that still shapes the world today. Even the woman whose body had been broken by years of bleeding reminds us of this truth. She could have stayed hidden, swallowed by shame. Instead, she pushed through the crowd, stretched out her trembling hand, and touched the edge of his garment. That step of desperation turned into a step of deliverance. Healing was already prepared, but it was her courage to move that unlocked it. The thread tying all these stories together is simple yet unshakable. The miracle was not waiting on heaven, it was waiting on them. God had already written the promise. What remained was a step of obedience to activate it, and the same thread runs through your life today. The Red Sea in front of you may not be made of water, but it might be a mountain of fear, a wall of insecurity, or a history of failure. The boat you're clinging to may not be made of wood, but it may be the comfort of routine or the illusion of control. Still, the principle stands. Heaven responds to motion. So do not underestimate the steps of those who came before. They are not just stories in a book. They are blueprints for your breakthrough. What they unlocked by obedience is a reminder of what you can unlock today, if only you move. Every promise carries a clock. Not the kind you wear on your wrist or hang on a wall, but a divine clock that ticks according to heaven's rhythm. And when the hands of that clock strike now, delay becomes dangerous. Ecclesiastes reminds us, "To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven." That means every breakthrough has an appointed moment. You cannot rush it, but you also cannot afford to ignore it. Miss the window, and you risk wandering outside of what was meant to be yours. Think of Israel again. God had already prepared the promised land. The giants were already defeated in his plan. The provision was already waiting. Yet when the time came to move forward, fear seized them. They hesitated, and what should have been a short journey stretched into 40 long years. The tragedy wasn't that God broke his promise. The tragedy was that they missed their timing. This principle is as true today as it was then. Some doors only swing open for a season. Some opportunities are not permanent. They are prophetic invitations that demand a response. When the Spirit says go, hesitation is not harmless. It can cost years. It can drain strength. It can leave you circling the same mountain over and over, wondering why nothing changes. The enemy doesn't always have to destroy your calling. Sometimes he only needs to delay it. Because every year lost to hesitation is a year stolen from destiny. Delay doesn't cancel God's promise, but it prolongs the pain of reaching it. Picture a train pulling into a station. The doors slide open for a short while, waiting for passengers to board. But if you stand on the platform too long, second-guessing and analyzing, the doors close. The train moves on, and while another train may come eventually, the one you missed carried specific people, opportunities, and divine alignments you may never encounter again. Timing matters. Your life has windows like that. Seasons when heaven leans in closer. Moments when the Spirit whispers, now. These are not casual suggestions. They are sacred summons, and the cost of ignoring them is high. So ask yourself, is this one of those moments? Could it be that the delay you call wisdom is actually robbing you of destiny? Could it be that the hesitation you label as patience is just fear in disguise? Tonight, heaven's timing is colliding with your life. This is your window. Don't let it pass. Because what God has prepared is not waiting for tomorrow. It is waiting for your yes today. If you are waiting for fear to vanish before you step forward, you will be waiting forever. Fear is not a sign that you are unqualified. It is often a sign that you are standing on the edge of something important. Look closely at Scripture, and you'll see this truth woven into every story of courage. Joshua was trembling when God told him, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for I am with you." Notice what God did not say. He did not promise to remove Joshua's fear before the battle. He promised his presence in the middle of it. The message was clear. Fear does not disqualify you. Refusing to move does. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is movement despite it. Abraham didn't leave home because he felt brave. He left because he trusted God's voice more than his own uncertainty. Peter didn't walk on water because the storm was calm. He walked because he believed Jesus was greater than the waves. Their fear remained real, but it did not get the final word. Too many people wait for perfect clarity before they act. They want every detail, every assurance, every guarantee. But that is not faith. That is control. Real faith walks with shaking knees and still says yes. It moves when logic says wait. It chooses trust over certainty. Think about your own life. How many dreams have you silenced because of fear of failure, rejection, or not having enough. How many times have you called hesitation wisdom, when in truth it was just fear disguised as caution? Fear is a thief. It steals time, opportunities, and callings. But here's the revelation. Fear does not leave before obedience. Fear loses its grip when obedience begins. The moment you step forward, even trembling, heaven responds. Courage is not a feeling, it's a decision. And when you make that decision, strength rises, doors open, and favor activates. The very thing that once terrified you becomes the ground of your testimony. Imagine standing before a locked gate. Fear whispers that the lock cannot be broken. But the truth is, the lock has already been opened. It just takes your hand to push the gate. Fear will never admit that. Fear wants you frozen. But faith insists. Move, and you'll see. So stop waiting to feel fearless, move afraid, walk uncertain, obey trembling. Because the victory is not promised to the fearless, it is promised to the faithful. And when you take that step in the presence of fear, you declare to heaven and to hell alike, my trust is greater than my terror. My God is greater than my fear. When God calls you to step, He is not asking you to leap into emptiness. He is inviting you into alignment with a path He has already prepared. Long before you even wrestled with the decision, heaven had gone before you, arranging details you could not see. Deuteronomy declares, the Lord Himself goes before you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That means before your feet ever touch the ground, His feet have already passed through. Before the conversation begins, He has softened hearts. Before the opportunity presents itself, He has unlocked doors. Before the challenge rises, He has positioned strength you will need. This changes everything. Because obedience, then, is not blind risk. It is trust in a God who has already finished the work. Your step is not starting something new. It is stepping into something heaven has already completed. Think about it. While you were lying awake at night, worrying about how it would all come together, God was already orchestrating connections. While you were replaying what-if scenarios in your mind, He was aligning resources. While you were begging for clarity, He was weaving details in ways you could never imagine. And here's the beauty. Your step of obedience doesn't just shape your life, it ripples outward. Abraham's decision to leave home wasn't just about him, it was about generations. Peter's obedience to cast his net brought in a catch so great that other boats were filled too. Your yes today could be the breakthrough someone else has been praying for. One courageous step can break generational cycles, birth new legacies, and open doors for those who come after you. This is why hesitation is costly. Because when you delay, it's not only your blessing that stalls, it's the blessing meant to overflow into others. God's anointing was never designed to remain contained within you. It was always meant to spill out, to touch lives, to rewrite stories far beyond your own. So do not think of your obedience as small. That business idea, that ministry, that reconciliation, that act of generosity, these are not just personal victories. They are divine assignments carrying generational weight. And remember this, you are not chasing miracles. You are walking into them. The road is already laid. The doors are already unlocked. The provision is already waiting. All heaven is asking is for your feet to move. So lift your eyes from fear. Look beyond uncertainty and realize, the moment you step forward, you are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into destiny. Every story we've walked through leads here. Every lesson, every warning, every promise has been building toward this point. And now heaven leans over your life with urgency. This is your moment. Do not tell yourself you will wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. Do not convince yourself that you will act when conditions feel safer. Safety is an illusion. Do not hope that fear will disappear before you obey. Fear is not your enemy to be erased. It is the backdrop against which faith shines brightest. The step before you tonight is not just about personal victory. It carries eternal weight. Your obedience may unlock freedom for someone else. Your courage may spark hope in another generation. Your yes may become the testimony that ripples far beyond your lifetime. This is bigger than you. Look around. The signs are clear. The window is open. The provision is aligned. The helpers are prepared. The angels are on assignment. Heaven has already orchestrated the details. The only missing piece is your decision. And let's be real, hesitation has already cost enough. You've spent years circling mountains you were never meant to climb. You've wasted energy fighting battles that obedience would have bypassed. You've delayed breakthroughs that were ready the moment you said yes. Don't let another season slip through your fingers. Destiny is not waiting for applause. It is waiting for obedience. The next chapter of your life does not begin with perfect clarity. It begins with a step of trust, and that step belongs to you tonight. So rise. Stand up inside yourself. Shake off the chains of fear, doubt, and delay. Take the step heaven has been urging you to take. Write the vision. Make the call. Launch the dream. Offer the forgiveness. Sow the seed. Whatever obedience looks like for you, do it now. Because every second matters, and as you move, let this truth anchor your heart. You are not alone. God goes before you. His presence walks beside you. His spirit empowers you. His favor surrounds you. You are stepping into a story already written with victory. Chosen one, the clock of heaven is striking now. Don't shrink back. Don't overthink. Don't wait for another confirmation. This is it. The window is open. The time is here. The call is clear. Take the step, tonight, right now, and watch as God does what only He can do.